The subject of our next video is simplification. And simplification is pretty simple as long as we keep two principles in mind. I'm going to see if I can talk here with my fingers. So make sure that your students understand as you're doing this two principles is that essentially we have three families when we're dealing with our polynomials represented by our algebra tiles here. We've got three families. And the families don't get along too good. The families don't get along too well. So these are the Hatfields, these are the McCoys, and these are the angry people. They do not like each other at all. And they will only work together in families. I can put together my x squareds, they'll work just fine together. I can put together my x's, they'll work just fine together. And I can put together my whole numbers, they'll work just fine together. But I cannot combine my x's and my whole numbers because, again, I don't know what x equals. So unless I know that, I cannot put these guys together. We're just going to represent them separately. I can't put my x squareds and x's together. So that concept of family should be one that students can relate to. We can only work together in families. Families will not cross over to work with each other. Also, another thing that students need to understand is the zero principle. If I have a positive and I have a negative of the same family, like in this case x's, if these will cancel out because a positive x and a negative x together will give me 0. So anytime you have opposites, they will cancel out and go. So a positive x squared and a negative x squared, those are also opposites. Those will cancel out and those will go. And also the same thing with numbers. Positive 1 and a negative 1, those will cancel out and equal 0. So that zero principle, or that canceling out, however you want to explain it, is an important thing to talk about. So in this section, we're going to do some simplification. So let's say we were just asked to simplify. Let's say a 3x minus 2x plus 4. Let's say we're asked to simplify that. So let's do that. I've always got to model this and represent it first. So let's see. It says take a 3x. So I'm going to go ahead and it's a positive 3x. I'm going to model that out. As always, if you wanted to stop this and try it yourself first, go for it. So let's see. I've got a positive 3x, then a negative 2x. I'm going to use my red. There's my negative 2x. And then I have my positive 4. 2, 3, 4. So let's see, I've got a 3x, negative 2x plus 4. I've represented that. I'm going to double check, make sure I have everything. And now I'm going to do any simplification that I can do. I can't deal with my whole numbers in x's, but I can deal with this x family. And remember we said that if anytime we've got opposites of each kind, they will equal 0 or they will cancel out. So I'm going to take one of these and one of these. These guys will cancel out. Whoop, they're gone. I've got one of these and one of these. These guys will cancel out. Whoop, and that'll just leave me now with x plus 4. If I did this the more abstract way, 3x minus 2x gives me 1x. I've got 4 left over. So now I have represented that. Let's go ahead and look at another example. Bring in a fresh sheet of paper. So let's say let's do a couple of things here maybe with some parentheses. Let's say I had a 2x plus 2. Let's say I was going to add to that in another parenthesis, let's say a negative 3x minus 1. So first job is to do what? Model it, everyone said. So let's do that. So my first job is I'm going to go ahead and take my x terms. There's my 2x's. There is my plus 2. So positive 2x plus 2. I'll do the same thing over here with my negative 3x minus 1. Let's see, positive 2x plus 2, got it. Negative 3x minus 1, okay, got that, no problemo. So now families can work together. I'm going to put all my whole numbers in the same place. I'm going to put all my x terms in the same place. Anytime I've got an opposite, I can cancel out or they'll move to 0, however we want to look at it. Let's start with our x's. These two guys, opposites, they'll cancel. Whoop. These two guys are opposites, they'll cancel. Whoop. That just leaves me with this one. I've got a couple opposites here on my whole number. positive 1, negative 1, whoop, those guys will cancel. And so I'm left with a negative x plus 1. If I did this the more old-fashioned way, or I shouldn't say the old-fashioned, the abstract way, would be a better way to say that, positive 2x and negative 3x. The signs are different, so I'll subtract and take the sign of the bigger, which is negative x, and 2 minus 1 will simply give me 1. Let's just look at one more example on the simplification end. Let's bring in a new sheet of paper, and let's say I had, in my first parenthesis, let's say I had an x plus 6, and I'm going to add to that, let's say a negative 4x minus 2. So go ahead and practice this. If you want to stop the video and model it on your own, please do that. So, okay, so now that you're back, I'm going to go ahead and model this myself. X plus 6, let's say I'm going to use my green rectangle. I'm going to need 6 of these bad boys here. Let's see, there's 4, 5, and 6. Let's see, ding, ding, 3, whoops, come back. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, good. There's my x plus 6. And over here we've got a negative 4x minus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and take my negative 4x. I'm going to set that up and use my red rectangles, minus 2 over here. Double check that, x plus 6, negative 4x minus 2. All right, families will work together. So I want to put my x families together, and I'm going to put my whole number families together. There we go. Everybody's happy now. Any opposites will cancel out or go to 0. So these two guys, whoop, cancel out and go to 0. Let's see, I think we can do this a couple times over here. I've got a positive and a negative equals 0. Boop. Positive 1 and negative 1 equals 0. Boop. And I'm left with this. So if I'm going to write my answer, that would be a negative 3x plus 4 is how that would work. And if I did it just the abstract method, signs are different here on my x's. I'll subtract, take the sign of the larger, negative 3x, and 6 minus 2 would give me 4. So these are just some ways there to simplify. Again, stress with your students' families, stress that 0 principle or canceling out, and you'll be in good shape. So on your worksheet, if you would go ahead and practice then number 7 up through number 18, gives you a bunch of practicing there with simplifying. But stop before you hit number 19, because 19 begins subtraction, and I'm going to show you a little trick with that. So go ahead and give those a try. Again, be patient with yourself. You will get this. It just may take 1 or 2 exposures to do that.